Welcome to Overdrive AF, the official podcast of Overdrive Fitness. My name is Teddy Gurzon, and I'm joined by Gina Marie Gurzon.
What's up?
All right, bringing it back to you on episode number 178 of Overdrive AF. All right, so last time we spoke about wearable tech, correct?
Yes.
So hopefully some of you, if you had any questions, that episode actually helped you as far as maybe purchasing some on your own or whatnot. Excuse me 1 second. Tried to mute my mic when I coughed, but I still got picked up on your mic, so that was kind of pointless.
Yeah, I sort of maybe better communication on that next time.
No, it's fine. Also, I feel like mine's real loud this week, so let's fix that. There we go. All right, so this week what we'd like to talk about are basically just 6 ways fitness can affect mental health, right? So mental health, and fitness, they're actually pretty closely interconnected, and regular physical activity can improve mental health, right? So we're going to talk about 6 ways that physical activity can improve mental health. Who was leading off again? I totally spaced out.
Well, I figured you would, but
All
mean,
I'll go first.
It doesn't matter.
So, one of the first way that physical activity can improve mental health is by reducing anxiety and depression. All right. So, exercise releases endorphins, which can help alleviate symptoms of anxiety and depression. Right. So, basically, to use an example, for all you dog owners out there, if you don't take your dog out for a nice walk, regularly, let's say it goes 8 hours without it, right? You can expect that dog will be like
a lot of pent-up energy.
Pent-up energy, super anxious, and then even depressed because like they're so hyper they can't get it out, and then all of a sudden they don't know what to do with it, and then they go in the complete opposite direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the same can happen with humans, right? And we're starting to see a lot of that happening at a much greater rate ever since COVID, right?
Yes.
Because a lot of people, I mean, first of all, through the lockdown, nobody was getting out of the house, right? Mm-hmm. And, I may be speaking in hyperbole there, but maybe not really in the sense when I say nobody was. But, for the most part, a lot of people weren't. And then a lot of those people, if they did keep their job, right, then they were shifted to working from home, whether it be full-time or part-time, mm-hmm. like 3 days in the office, 2 days at home, whatever it may be. Now they're even more sedentary. Like they're not even getting out of their house to commute to work. They're literally just walking to the next room and doing work, mm-hmm. right? So
and they're stuck inside.
No
fresh air.
So they have the same stressful job, and they're doing much less physical activity, like just daily activity, to counteract any of that.
Right.
So you would expect it to lead to anxiety and depression.
Mm-hmm. And you can only move around so much in your house or in your home.
So
right.
I think that's a perfect segue into the second point.
Mm-hmm. So the second way that mental health and fitness are so closely interconnected, and how regular physical activity can improve your mental health by really enhancing your mood. And it really ties in with what Teddy was just saying, by reducing anxiety and depression, enhancing your mood. So regular physical activity definitely helps to release those endorphins, just like Teddy had reminded you guys. In turn, by releasing those endorphins, it does create that positive mood. It does allow you to kind of stay in that happier place, and obviously does kind of cascade down into just feelings of happiness, feelings of satisfaction, just being in a better place in general mentally overall. Mm-hmm. And that affects everything in your environment. I think physical activity, whether you even go to the next area of the house and get on your treadmill or get under the bar, or even getting outside, I think just in general, the fact that you're moving your body releasing those good hormones, releasing those neurotransmitters. The body has an amazing way of lifting you up, you know, especially with times of stress and, you know, stepping away from the computer, stepping away from your regular tasks and allowing yourself just to feel better. So giving yourself that gift of a positive mood and those happy feelings. So yeah, it definitely does help to enhance your mood, I would say so. And it lasts, I would say it definitely lasts a good 24 hours. You know, the research does show that exercise does enhance your mood, and it does kind of last over that 24-hour period.
It's kind of like that, excuse me, it's kind of like that meme. It's like, it's listing all the problems and how that person solves every single one of them, and it's the same answer for all of them. It says, when I'm angry, I go to the gym. When I'm depressed, I go to the gym. When I'm anxious, I go to the gym. When I'm hungry, I go to the gym. Then I eat. So it's like, you know, it's I just think it's that's great for that, right? So it really does affect your mood, especially in a positive manner. Which is also what we're always trying to do in here. And we like to tell everyone, we want you to walk out of here feeling much better than when you walked in.
Right.
That's our ultimate
that's a
goal.
main thing, yeah. And I think even, you know, I think the only other way you could feel is if before working out, if you are angry, if you are sad, if you are depressed, if you are anxious, you always end up feeling better. You always end up feeling more positive than when you started, because of the fact that you're releasing those endorphins. Those neurotransmitters are just flooding your brain and flooding your central nervous system and flooding your entire body in general. Your central nervous system is your entire body, pretty much. So, and then with that, that leads right into the next one.
Improving cognitive function, right? So exercise increases blood flow to the brain, which can enhance memory, concentration, and overall cognitive function. So basically it just helps your brain function a lot better. Everything about it just improves through exercising, right? So it is very important. That's another reason why it's so important to stay active, especially as we age, right? Because like as you age, you start to do a lot less, right? So then everything starts to kind of just go.
And what do we always say? So blood flow allows nutrients traveling to obviously the brain, the muscle tissue, just the tissue, the organs in general. When we eat, we start to digest, our body assimilates those nutrients. Those nutrients flood your circulatory system, right? Blood flow in general carries, so blood carries nutrients to all the tissues of the body. Vitamins, minerals, proteins, carbohydrates, fats, everything that we need to function optimally. So, makes total sense.
You've mentioned that specifically on the podcast previously.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
And it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, everything has its route. And the heart pumps blood. It pumps blood to the surrounding tissues, close by and further away. The stronger your heart, the better, the more efficiently you receive those nutrients, and the better you feel in general.
Yes.
Right?
So number 4.
Well, I think, again, everything is, all of these that we are listing, it ties right into the next and right into the next. So, mental health, fitness, getting yourselves out and exercising in general for your mental health, it definitely helps you to boost your self-esteem. I think when we start to set goals for ourselves, set these intentions out for ourselves, and achieving these fitness goals, and it literally could be at that moment. It doesn't have to be a month from now or 6 months from now or a year from now. Achieving just even in that moment a fitness goal. So a 5-rep max, like we've been working through some 5-rep maxes here at Overdrive, working through time, working through reps, working through heavy lifts, How explosive can you be? So achieving fitness goals in general can definitely help improve your self-esteem and your body image, contributing to a better mental well-being. So just that in general, when we step into a space or we step into an exercise program at that moment, I think, what the workout could be at that moment. So again, if we're working on that 5 rep max of our bench press and you end up PRing for that 5 rep max, or you end up hitting maybe a weight that you didn't think was possible, everything that was listed just prior to helping to boost that self-esteem, all of those, everything that we've listed just prior to that, it ties right into this at that moment of, crushing that PR, or, the time frame that you had for your 3 mile run, or your 400 meter, the 400 meter dash, whatever it was that you were working towards. Just in general, you feel better in your body, you feel better in the mirror, you feel better in your clothes, you feel more confident, right? Giving that speech at work, having that meeting, some of you that are team coaches or whatever the case, teachers, those of you that have to stand up and speak, in general, it just allows you to feel better in your body, just feel better as you are at that moment, and allows you to get through your day more successfully.
I mean, even speaking about, I had a follow-up consult with an athlete yesterday, who's really a hybrid athlete in the hybrid athlete program. And then this athlete basically, like, they're making progress, right, at a conservative pace, which is what we always aim for here, so that it's sustainable in the long run. But the biggest improvement that they told me they see in themselves is their self-esteem. Like, they feel like they're moving way better than they ever were, because this person's not the most athletic. They actually feel confident for the first time in their life.
That's huge.
So it's like, it's a big deal for someone that is a high school senior. Like, you went through all of grammar school, like, questioning your own, like, confidence, your ability to do anything, and now you finally feel happy and confident. That's huge. And it's simply just by getting here, like, 2, sometimes 3 times a week. So
and what do we talk about with the parents too? I think that's something to bring up for a second.
Yeah, we're always trying to build confidence here. Always. And what I love is I always see it happen the most, or in the fastest, in female athletes. So one of the many reasons why I love training female athletes. Not that I hate the boys, but the females that we've had always seem so driven and motivated to really exceed expectations.
And I feel like that 8 to 12 year range is right when they're so ripe with possibility. And I think, like you always say, it's that, we get them at a time in their lives where we could really start to really correct things and turn things around for them in a positive way.
Yeah, literally build their foundation. Instead of getting somebody when they're like 16, 17, after how many years of doing things incorrectly or just creating bad habits, then we got to take time in the beginning to undo those and then rebuild them. At least with like an 8 to 12-year-old, especially a boy that's that young, like, their motor skills aren't developed. So you just expect them to be goofy as fuck.
Right, and they kind of don't. They're not connecting with their body so much. Like, they're kind of all over the place, where it's just the makeup, males and females are just a little bit different. But okay.
Yeah, no, the next one. Oh. Right? So we're jumping right to the next one?
Okay.
Providing structure. Right? So a regular fitness routine can create structure and purpose, which is beneficial for mental health. So, like, again, like you had just said, everything ties into the next. Right? So what's great about when we start to see people get consistent in here, or even, not even in here, just when people start their own fitness journey, they all of a sudden now have structure in their life. and it
They
pours
have
out into everything,
Yes.
right? They're like, no, I cannot function today unless I start my day off with a workout. And then next thing you know, like, they're eating regularly. And that's actually what I hear from a lot of people, especially when they first start here. I'm like, all right, so how'd last week go? And they're like, well, we had that off day from school, so I took the day off because no one was able to watch the kids, and that fucked up my diet entirely, right? So it's like when everyone's in a routine, they're on point,
The
right?
structure, like you said, structure and even purpose.
And it also structure also allows, I mean, obviously it'll organize your day, right? But it'll minimize the amount of chaos, right? So because you always know at certain times of day you're gonna have a snack or a meal or a workout, or and then you always have these habits built in you that we always try to instill in everyone. Like, all right, how much water did I have so far today? I really have to hit this goal, so I better pick up the pace, right? Or, like anything, like structure comes in the form of many different things,
And you end up playing catch up at some point if you don't have that structure.
exactly.
So wherever that ends up falling for people. So, some people we see literally first thing in the morning at 5 a.m. And some people we end up seeing before we close, like at 6 o'clock at night. So whether they start their day or end their day, like one of the members was saying, yep, you either start your day here or you end your day here at Overdrive. So you end up starting your day really nicely, with a great workout and amazing people and just feeling really good, or you end up ending your day really well and on a positive note, regardless of how your day started. And your day could have started really well with a lot of structure, and maybe your day might not have started really well with a lot of structure and purpose, and you end up ending your day really nicely with an amazing workout and really good people and an awesome community. So I think that in itself it keeps you really regimented, and it allows you to really feel successful.
Yes.
In everything. And then again, last but not least, it always ties in to the next, but fitness really does encourage social interaction. So here we're very focused on establishing community and building community, and we do our best to introduce members to each other. We do our best to really interact with everybody and really get to know everybody. Having that group workout atmosphere, that community, whether it's a sports team or coming into a fitness class, some sort of a group class, it allows you to kind of really build and foster these beautiful connections with people, because we have to remember that we were not here to, put on this earth to just isolate ourselves and be alone. I think it's also very important to have some sort of alone time within the day or the week or whatever, because we do need to work on ourselves for different reasons. But we were made to thrive in a community atmosphere, and we were made to thrive in a group setting. So, I think as human beings, we do still have that pack mentality, even though we walk on 2 feet and not on 4 at this point in our lives, at this point in time. So being able to allow yourself to really foster these beautiful relationships, whether it's just in the gym or just outside in a running group or a yoga class or whatever. This reverberates into your atmosphere, and you start to do things even outside of that gym time or outside of that fitness, running, yoga, Pilates, whatever time that is, and you end up maybe having tea with some of the classmates, or you end up going to, like we're going to a Jets game in December with a whole truckload of people, our members here. So it helps you to stay in that mind frame, and it's just healthy. It's healthy in general. I think it can kind of keep people away from that lonely feeling or that isolated feeling that some people can kind of gravitate towards sometimes, and they might be more prone to. So.
And like even specifically, if you want to talk on the fitness side, especially how it can relate to here, you know, a lot of people come in here because they don't want to spend 2 or 3 hours in a health club, and they don't have much knowledge of what to do as far as creating a program on their own.
Mm-hmm.
But when they come here, they're now surrounded by like-minded individuals, people that are chill, so they wind up becoming friends and even closer with other people in here, and it gives them extra motivation to come. So it's kind of like in the back of their mind, I don't feel like going today. Then it's like, oh well, then if I don't go, I'm not gonna see so and so, and I really enjoy working out with him or her, right? So it just getting more active, it does encourage social interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Or even going back to like me and like my friend group from everyone I grew up with, like you saw like a lot of us played football together.
Yeah, and you would all train together too.
Yeah.
On days when I couldn't train with you, we couldn't train together. I mean, you guys would all train. Like, I don't know, 10 of you or something.
Yeah.
Which is rare, but at the same time, it's really nice. Even if it's 2 or 3 people, the point is it's your own little group. It's your community. You're having a little powwow. You're all doing something that's it's really healthy.
Yeah.
In general, and you can bullshit with each other. Talk about the day. Get whatever out you need to get out. Grab the barbell. You got a lot of Eastern philosophy, kind of shiatsu Chinese medicine kind of coming in, where you've got a little fire, a little metal, a little, a little air, a little a little wood, a little, there's different constitutions, different aspects that kind of feed that. So
I think that's what makes the best groups.
Brings you back to balance, and different personalities too. It creates a dynamic, and it's healthy. And you end up exchanging phone numbers with people. And again, this is where like you guys, okay, are you going to class? I'm going to see you at class tonight, or I'll see you in the morning, or whatever. Or you guys end up, people end up going out to have coffee, maybe grabbing lunch, going for a run at Rockland Lake or something. Or meeting up, or end up maybe carpooling one day. The kids need carpool or whatever. Like, oh, I didn't know that so-and-so was in this class, or was, in the same school. Oh my God, okay, you live down the block? I had no idea. Like, you just end up building these beautiful relationships with people, and it's a wonderful thing.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, it's important to keep ourselves in a healthy mind frame, and especially mental health now, is the year from 2020 on has been extremely important to maintain, because people are more so, they're more inclined to depression and again, the isolation and everything.
And like the topic of mental health, it may seem like pretty trendy if you look at it like from like a nearsighted point of view, but if you really dive into it and think about it, this issue has only been growing and growing, I would say, since probably the beginning of this millennia, right? So as technology started to really advance, and it was like it would be advancing pretty rapidly, right? So we were growing up, we had Walkmans and Discmans, right? And most of us didn't even have cell phones. And now all of a sudden, within 20 years, you've got like 9-year-olds with cell phones, which have access to the internet. So they're being influenced by so many things that our parents were able to really have a stronghold on to prevent us from being influenced by the wrong things. But, now you have kids, they're just glued to their phones.
Which means they're not getting exercise most of the time. That's
what, like the saying, go out and touch grass, right? Like that's something that we always did growing up, right? And I feel like when we were growing up, everyone played sports, and it didn't matter if you were good or bad. Now it's all like, if you play sports, then you have to play travel sports, or you suck. So now there's like no in between. It's either you play travel sports or you're completely fucking inactive, and then those parents just buy their kids computers and video games, and then they never do anything beyond that. So it's like this idea of mental health being a big issue, it's been going on. It's been growing for a long time, but I would say ever since COVID, it's grown even faster. It's become a much bigger problem at a much faster rate.
Yep, I agree with you.
So simply just moving. So
Absolutely.
getting fit will have such a positive effect on your mental health in many different aspects.
Increasing blood flow.
Yes.
Getting your heart rate up. So that could be jumping on a trampoline outside with the kids and the dogs, and being in the sun, maybe doing some yoga, going for a run, lifting weights outside, in the garage, but, bringing the garage door up and getting the sun on your skin, getting some fresh air into your nose and into your lungs, opening the windows and doing some mobility work, sitting outside on the deck and getting some mobility work in for 5 minutes before you start your day, even like little things like that, breaking things up, doing some body weight squats, step out away from your computer, go outside and doing some body weight squats or push-ups, or, some straight leg sit-ups or something. Just a minute of activity. They say even every hour within an 8-hour period, getting 1 minute of activity in for every hour of that 8-hour workday, if you want to call it, for those of you that are working from home or even in an office setting, step away from your computer and you have no excuse not to get that activity in. It not only boosts your physical health, but it boosts your mental health. That's huge. And then you end up being so much more productive and in such a better mood. And if you could kind of dose that for 1 minute every hour within your day, that's a big deal. On the days you can't get to a class, or on the days you can't give yourself an hour for a walk or a run outside, or 30 minutes or whatever. Point is you need to move.
We were born to move.
We were born to move. Yes. Yes.
Anything else to add?
That's it.
All right, so that's our episode on 6 ways that fitness can affect mental health. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll catch you guys next week in another episode of Overdrive AF. But in the meantime, we are out. Peace.
Bye.